Hey everybody, check this out right here. We have Dallas Fed Manufacturing, and we topped out way back here in 21, and we've been on a large decline, pushing us lower. Now, this indicates that we're in a manufacturing recession, despite all the GDP spending, the debt underwriting, pushing it into GDP. This indicates right there this Dallas Fed manufacturing outlook and volume. I mean, it's new orders. Everything's looking like recession. So what does this mean? This means we are essentially in a period of stagflation, where we're seeing some inflation and we're seeing stagnant prices. Yet the stock market keeps rallying. This is a dangerous situation. Dangerous situation here. And I mean, money has to rotate to keep making money. But if it all locks up, if the banks suddenly lock up, if large hedge funds start locking up, if everything starts pulling back, we could be in for a hurting here, and it could last a while. So this is very concerning right here when you look at this. I mean, we ticked up just a little bit on prices received for finished goods. I mean, that's while the order book goes down. That's inflation, stagflation, basically. Everything's stagnant, and we're getting inflation, and this ticking up right here, I guarantee you that's what Powell and everybody's seeing. Inflation has been creeping back up on orders for finished goods. This is it's playing into the bigger picture here, and lots of stuff not looking too swift here. And a business is only as good as the customer's business. All right, completely dependent upon customer demand. And the last few days, I've been talking about like Darden restaurants reporting that lower end is dropping out. Demand's weak. We're seeing some high end stuff reporting that I think Louis Vuitton or whatever reporting that they're seeing a little bit of weakness coming in. We're seeing some other premium brands, Gucci, reporting they're seeing some softening of demand. It's not looking too good when the top end and the bottom end both reporting weakening demand. It's potentially a far stronger, deeper recession. And what's a deep recession? What's a strong, deep recession? Might be kicking off the Greater Depression. I'm just throwing that out there that we can redefine the term recession all we want, but quite possibly this is a recession they've put band-aids on until we can't even see it. But if you take the blinders off, it's right there in front of us. Now, recession doesn't always mean down in the stock market. Remember, raising rates is good for the stock market. Cutting rates is bad for the stock market. When they start cutting rates, watch out below. It's not, everybody's gonna be like, I thought cutting rates was good for the stock market, and we'll watch it go down the toilet. I'm just throwing it out there. Big old warning. All right. Now we have the consumer confidence numbers coming out at 10 a.m. So about 40 minutes from now. We've got FOMC member Waller speaking tomorrow evening, and GDP numbers on Thursday. So Thursday's really the big day of numbers right there. And then Friday, we get that PCE slipping in while the market's closed. If you didn't know, market's closed on Friday for Good Friday. But they're going to slip in the PCE numbers while the market's closed. That's an interesting situation. What does that mean? Could cause some volatility when we open back up on Monday. So watch out there. Watch out there. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in today. And if I can hit the right button here. be a subscriber on the channel if you want to chat with me, like all the people saying hey and good morning, and all my favorite people tuning in this morning. Kimberly's here. We're seeing Goose and Campbell White. I don't recognize your name, but glad to see you. Larry, Valerie. I'm just kind of popping through. Sledge, Steven. I see General Rush in there. Morning, sir. Rob, Nikki, Keith, Chris. Don't recognize your name, but welcome. And Cliff, welcome. Just kind of skipped around. If I skipped over you, I'm so sorry. But let's get on to it, shall we? So, jumping back over. And all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining. In no way is this a recommendation to buy or sell anything. No financial instruments, no stocks, no options, no bonds, no forex, no futures, no cryptos, no treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. Don't trade them unless you know what you're doing, all right? And don't buy stuff from me or any other financial guru or anybody, period, unless you trust them, all right? Make sure you trust the people you do business with. If you don't trust me, don't buy nothing. Don't buy anything from me, all right? If you desire personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. That's not what I do. I'm not advising you to do anything except take care of you, all right? Be careful with your money. Nobody's going to watch out for you but you, number one, all right? Nobody watches out for number one but number one. You got to learn how to do this. If you don't take a vested interest, well, be careful. Be careful. Oh, Cam, I got you. Didn't recognize your name, Campbell. I always knew you as Cam. Welcome, Cam. All right. So, Mary, Terrence, welcome, everybody. And let's get into it. So we've kind of already hit the calendar. Not a big week. I mean, they're going to slip that PCE on Friday. So we'll see what that does. It's kind of a toss-up. And with the inflation coming back up, let's jump back over here. We're seeing this DGS2 creeping up. I'm going to have to move my question mark here. Ticking down this week, but it is creeping up off the lows that we saw in January. This has got Powell's attention. They're holding rates steady yet again. And if this thing crosses back over, like I speculated we might see, like a year ago when I drew this on the chart, we could actually see the Fed raising rates, not cutting rates this year. Who's talking about that? Nobody's talking about that hardly. All the way a year ago. And Goose, you know, you were in this conversation. What's the thing that nobody was talking about a year ago is that we might go sideways and then raise rates more. And still, nobody's really talking about that. Everybody's talking about these cuts. The 3 to 4 cuts are supposed to come. That's bearish, all right? Maybe we ramp this baby on up to a higher level before the wheels come off. Exasperate this thing even worse than we get to. So be careful. Be careful, all right? This is a painful hold, but we might actually see the Fed raise rates before the ultimate problem. Now, why do I say the ultimate problem? Every time that the DGS2 and the Fed funds rate, if you want to make this chart, bring up D, Delta, G, Golf, S, Sierra, 2, DGS2 right there. Type that in and then click the compare button. Type in FED, FUNDS right there. Puts the Fed funds rate. You can put it in whatever color you want. I've got it in orange right here. That's the orange line. The blue line is that DGS2. That's the 2-year constant maturity rate. Every time we've crossed these in the past, we've gotten a market freak out. All right, ever since I've been trading anyway. I started trading in the mid to late 90s with real money, and right there. Anybody remember that one? Ouch, big period of down. Another one right there. Ouch, big period of down. Zero interest rate policy. Held for a long time. They tried to raise the rates. Market freak out. And then COVID hit. More zero interest rate policy. And then inflation starts. And they start chasing inflation. And I'm not sure we're done yet. Usually inflation happens in 2 big waves. That was a big wave. We think we're all clear. Act 2. Act 3 could be another period of more inflation. And I'm not discounting that the Fed may actually do a cut and then have to raise rates again. So we may get a dip and rip in the interest rate. That'd be something nobody's talking about too. A dip and rip. You know, may end up here in the 8 to 9%. That'd be pretty wild. Pretty wild indeed. All right. Enough about that one. Let's move on. Moving on. What actually matters for us traders, right? S&P has gotten pretty much fully cooked on the upside. We're about to open up here in just a couple minutes, but we're actually getting a little bit of green here on ES today. And why am I bringing up ES? ES is the S&P 500 futures. All right, that's the S&P, SPX, the index stops trading at the close of the market every day. ES keeps trading. So if we jump down the time frames and look at what's happening overnight, we continued the correction from yesterday, from Friday, yesterday, and got a little pop into the 6:30 time, Eastern time, retracing a bit into the market open. If we bust below this 30-minute roadmap line, may indicate that we're going to go on down a little further. Now, if we run the fib line off the top, down to the bottom, we came up in that 618 kind of fuzzy zone right there. Remember, I'm always saying these fib lines are fuzzy zones. They're not definitive hard levels right there. And we could see a continuation, at least for a third wave down, retrace into this zone right down here, right around that zone. That could take us, that could go fast, it could go slow, it could take into later in the week, could take the rest of the week. We could see a retrace. If we get down there fast, find support, turn back higher, that sets us up again. Turn back higher, break above this zone right here, sets us up for extensions. What kind of extensions? Go a new higher high, potentially. Somewhere in the 5,300, 5,350 zone, looks like. As I pull the fib down, we're seeing 5,340 all the way up to 5,350. And with the discrepancy in between ES and the S&P being roughly 50 points, what does that equate? That equates to like a 5250, 53, getting my numbers all twisted up here. 5,300 basically on S&P, the cash index. And look, there's a target drawn right up there from the other day, 5,350. We could see it rally right up into that zone. Basically puts us off the high, down to potentially hitting the roadmap line on the 30-minute cash index. Could see that 5,300. And that's lining up, 5,280, 5,300. And then the extension up there to 5,350. All possible over the next few days, into the next week, into the next month. Next month starts next week. That's crazy, right? We're already done with the first quarter. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. S5FI, stocks above the 50-day, was taking a pause yesterday, finding resistance at that 80 level. We haven't visited the bottom since back here in October. It might be time to take a big dip. Stay nimble. All right. Now the question in my VIP group came up, how do we know when the market's rolling over? You set alerts, all right? You set levels. We set support levels. Right now, when we look at that price action overnight, this is why I go through this every day. And especially why I jump down in those time frames, all right? Circling back to the question, if we start breaking down below this, which funny enough was a consolidation zone just a few days back, we start breaking down below that zone, it indicates that maybe we're setting up something a little more bearish, all right? If we hold this perfect little echo down and turn higher, we're going to keep the party going, all right? The bar's staying open. If we start breaking down through support levels and getting continuation lower, we get a retrace, we hold a resistance, and then turn down again and get continuation lower. It's your initial indication that the bar is shutting down, that the lights are coming on, the music's going to stop. You've got to stay up to date. You don't just, it's not just a level on the chart. It's not just a one event. All right. NASDAQ, NQ. If you don't know the futures for NASDAQ, QQQ, right here. Very similar. Not exactly the same, but very similar. Grabbing the high, grabbing the low. Need to remove that one. We came down here, rallied up, hit that 618 of the whole big move down. Turned down again. If we break through, this one's interesting because we've got this double resistance turn down zone there. If we find support and turn back up through that, we're probably going up pretty strongly on NQ. Could take us up here. Now, if we start breaking down, and this is the uptrend of the lows that we've had going all year here, we start breaking, like we softened it up there a week ago or so. If we start breaking down below that trend line, that's initial indication that things are turning sour. The NASDAQ 100 is our biggest companies. There's biggest, strongest companies, all right? It's been up 14 of the last 15 years. This one starts turning sour. It's your indication that something bigger, some kind of bigger correction is afoot. We may see a bigger down, all right? These are the things to watch. These are the things to watch. The level to watch right now, down here, around 18,360 to 18,400. If you want to pull these up on your TradingView, TradingView is free for everybody. You can just go to tradingview.com. Like, I don't want anybody to be complaining that you can't get on TradingView. Everybody can get on TradingView. It's free for everybody. And they're running an Easter sale right now. I would be remiss if I didn't throw it up there really quickly, that there is an Easter sale. Let me grab the announcements channel on my Discord and show you. Right here, Easter sale, 70% off. Code Easter 2024, right there. I can throw that in the chat for everybody. It's not a link that gets me anything. It's just a link to the sale right here. If you don't have TradingView right there, you can grab it. 70% off. That's a heck of a deal. Buy a year. Buy a few months. I don't know. They usually have a Black Friday sale. Black Friday this year was 70% off, so that's just as good as the Black Friday sale. You can use TradingView. If you want to upgrade to a paid account, get all the alerts. You know, the free account, you get like one alert. That's not super awesome, but you can still look at the charts. You can still do all the things I do with a free account. NQ1 exclamation point right there. If you want to watch this, you can set your one alert with a free account right down here around 18.3 on NQ1. And if you want to upgrade, you can set 3 or 4 alerts. You can put one at the top of the box, one at the bottom of the box. And if you get the premium account, you can get all the alerts. You can have like 400 alerts. So Russell, jumping up to the daily here because it's most clear on the daily. We're riding in this channel. We're riding in this channel. We tested the top there last week, kind of sitting in the top end of the channel. We break down below the bottom of the channel around 2050 right now, probably going on a bigger trip down. And this whole price action that we've done since June of 22 looks very corrective, and we need continuation. The continuation lower would be the direction. This was the move in. This is a big sideways choppy mess. Continuation would be lower. We may see Russell pushing us down into like this 1300 area. Now, how would you trade that? It's IWM. All right. That's the ETF that everybody trades. That would push IWM possibly down to like 130. CL. This is oil. All right. What's the ticker for oil? I got this question yesterday. What's the ticker for CL1? CL1 exclamation point on TradingView brings up oil. If you're looking for it on a trading platform, it's usually /CL, and that takes you to a rolling contract usually. If you want the specific contract, you're going to have to use the letter code like CLK 2024. Brings up a specific contract. K is the month, CL is the ticker, K is the month, and 2024 is the year. That brings you to a specific contract. All right. There's CLM 2024. You're like, how do I know what the month contract, like, how do I know what the month letters are? You just Google it. I mean, they're futures month contracts. They're very standard. It's like K, M, L, Z. I mean, they skip letters. So it's not just A, B, C, D, E through the month or through the year. M is June, Z is December. I know the main ones because it's like H, M, Z. All of a sudden I forget, like September just went away because ES rocks on, they only have like 4 contracts a year. So if you trade ES, you see like H and M and Z, and so you only see the 4 contracts. Like there's not I don't think there's a K at all. Yeah, it doesn't even, like there's no May contract. Yeah, it's just gonna freak out TradingView here. So if you're looking for a specific contract, that's how you do it. And if you just want the constant rolling forward contract, CL1 exclamation point in TradingView gets you there. And we're just hanging in this channel. Looks like we're going to keep pushing on higher. This 85 to 87 area is my next target area up here. We came up just shy of it. Expecting us to rally a bit more in oil. As oil prices go up, inflation prices go up. It's everything's based on, we're an oil economy at this point. Can't deny it. Alrighty. U is September. There you go. Thanks, Blair. Adam was just escaping me momentarily. All right. GC. Right here. I don't have to worry about September for a while. Thank goodness we're just at the end of March. GC popped up, rallied up, hitting its head at this 618 resistance. That's the pullback. That's the resistance. We get above that zone. Going on up. 2240. Maybe like, what the fudge? Gold. That's gold the metal. GC. That's the futures. Same deal as oil. Has individual contracts. But this one, I mean, you can trade oil with like UCO. You can trade oil with USO. You can trade gold with GLD. You can trade gold with GLDM. You can trade gold with SGOL. There's all sorts of ways to trade gold. All right. I like to go to the underlying futures because they trade all the time. There's no closed period at midnight like all these ETFs. So we got the resistance right there. If we can break above it, we're going up. If we don't, watch out for continuation lower. The continuation lower at this point, I remove that one. We have a new one, this high, this low, this rally, that high. Sets us up just a little bit lower, 2130. So here's your support. I have to move this little guy. Come on. Look at that. Can't even grab the... I can move price alerts without even trying, but I can't grab a stupid oval. So we're looking at support right there and the target up there. So we're right in the middle. That's kind of a coin flip. No high probability anything until we're up here. Then we're high probability to go up here. If we break down below here, then we're high probability to go down here. So anything in between is just choppy sideways. Bitcoin seeing a little bit of pullback. It's interesting right here. It was closed for an hour. This rally yesterday supposedly ripping short futures contracts on Bitcoin. And what did we see? When the market closed for an hour, futures closed for 1 hour to reconcile the transactions, we saw Bitcoin pull back. That's why we got this gap down right here. Zoom it up. Let's get back down where we can actually see this. Look at this gap. Look at this right here. Futures market closed. It reopened an hour later, and we got this gap down. It gapped down $1,000. That's interesting to me. And then we continued to rally up. Got a little bit of sell. There is heavy shorting going on in futures for some reason. Heavy shorting, but this was supposedly yesterday was a rip the futures move. As the futures closed, we saw softening demand, And then when the futures market reopen, back to game on. Now, where does this potential squeeze end? I don't know. I don't know. Right now, when we look at it, we have broken above our magic 69,300 area. That line yesterday I drew on the chart. We broke above it. It sets us up 70% likely to take a trip up to 78,000. 78,000 right here. Now, does that mean we won't pull back? No. I mean, we could pull back again, find support again, and get the continuation higher. That's all entirely possible. This looks like a big 1-2. We might get another 1-2, and we'll see where we go from there. Ethereum, not nearly as strong. Didn't break above that 618 level. This one, as I cautioned yesterday, may go lower if the SEC determines it is a security and not a commodity. Caution, high level of caution here. In fact, the more I talk about it, the more I'm considering liquidating off of Ethereum and taking my crypto money somewhere else. The little bit of exposure I've got on that one. DXY. Jump back up to daily. There we go. Still in the coin flip zone. Pulled back a couple days. If we break back down below, we're probably going down. If we break on higher, probably going up here. We are somewhat 70% likely to go tag this at this point after making this candle back there on Friday. 70% likely, but still 30% that we could just crush the pattern and go lower at this point. So 70% odds we're going higher, but that doesn't mean we won't take the 30% chance and go lower. Big coin flip there, 105 on the upside, 99 on the downside. Bigger downside potential. Dun, 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 dun. What's moving today? MSTR popping on Bitcoin strength. We have that targeted here at 2,000 and another one at 2,500. And be careful. This thing is definitely looking extended. Now, anybody thinking you missed out on Bitcoin, you missed out on Nvidia, you missed out on anything, you should check out the prices of cocoa. And go look at the cocoa market. I'm not even sure a ticker. I saw the story earlier. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Cocoa futures, CC. There we go. CC1 exclamation point. CJ. Look at this baby. I feel like you've been missing out on Bitcoin. Here's a market you probably missed out on. Look at this baby. And this one's probably not going to let up. Check this out. Look at that. That's Bitcoin. That's cocoa. What? From the lows of Bitcoin. Look at this. Look at this. This crazy. Look at like if we pop this up year to date. Look at this. Look at cocoa go. You'd think that baby ran on GPUs or something like that. Look at this. There's Nvidia. There's cocoa. All right. You're always missing out on something. Like no FOMO. All right. You have FOMO on crypto. Don't have FOMO on crypto. You got FOMO on cocoa. Now don't have FOMO. Like there's always something being crazy. And there's always something crazier than all the things you know about already. There's Bitcoin. There's Nvidia. And there's cocoa. Wild stuff, right? Wild stuff. Yeah. Now, this is probably not going to resolve very quickly either. There's been underinvestment in cocoa plantations in Africa. We don't pay them a pittance to grow cocoa. There could be a worldwide shortage for the next couple years in chocolate. It's just crazy to think, right? So you think AI ran on Coco or something right there with that chart, but it's another story, another thing going on in the world that mainstream media doesn't talk about until it starts affecting all of us. Like when the prices of chocolate go up and you can't afford a chocolate bar anymore, um, watch out. So anyway, just another thing that came to my mind. I didn't even plan on talking that, but that's a crazy chart, right? I mean, and when does it come down? I don't know. I mean, it's like, when does cattle come down? The cattle might be on the way down, but that one's been on a wicked tear for a long time. That's beef prices for you. Just wild right there. Look at that. COVID low, nothing but straight up. Nothing but straight up. Anyway, MSTR, pretty much straight up. And where do we find the top? That 618, that large pullback coming up right there, 2000. SMCI. It does mean a chocolate shortage, actually. We just haven't trickled it through the economy yet. SMCI making a lower high. I caution everybody a lot. Look right here, this chart. This looks like a lot of things. Eventually, that cattle chart, are we going to make a lower high before we roll on back? I don't know. Eventually, Cocoa will probably get to the euphoria, and then we'll bust, come back down. Eventually, SMCI will do the same. Eventually, MSTR will do the same. Eventually, Bitcoin will do the same. When we get to the top, where's the top? I don't know. And we've got DJT coming out today. That's not even the right one. They didn't even list it yet, it looks like. Donald J. Trump coming out today. Replacing DWAC, I guess. Let's see where this one goes. That sure does look like looks like that chart, right? That choppy stuff right there before we plummet back down. Be careful. That's lower highs. Right there. Whole trend. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I know it's DJT, but that's not the chart. So it's not listed yet. Like when you type it in DJT, it's not on. There it goes. There it goes. Big pop today. We'll see what happens there. That's continuation higher. Be careful. How crazy can it get? It can get crazier. But it also can turn down right here very swiftly. Right now, that's looking like a 3-wave up. Could go up to 100. Watch out. All right. That's eventually going to get stupid and come right back down. Is the highly likely thing. I mean, look. You don't think we've gone up crazy before? Come right back down. You don't think we can do that again? Lower level, we've got resistance right there. There's been hodlers sitting there, bag holders sitting there that bought right here, waiting to get out. There's going to be supply. If we get crazy enough to go up here, there's probably bag holders sitting up there waiting to get out also. So if we get some crazy move, watch for sellers. Yeah, DWAC just did a conversion, and Digital World Acquisition did the conversion to a public company. This is what SPACs, go read how SPACs work. At SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition Corporation. So SPAC, it completed the acquisition and took Truth Social public today as a public company. All right, DWAC was the It's a way to take a company public without doing the IPO process. It's kind of weird. So if you've never been through a SPAC before, this was a SPAC, and a lot of the SPACs have ended up right back down. Anyway, usually SPACs have a 6-month lockup period for anybody in the acquisition, so could take a little while before old DJT is allowed to do anything. But he owns 60% of the shares. So if we don't even have any button to look at the financials on this thing. If we look at the capitalization here, nothing's filled out yet. So this thing's roughly worth $6 billion at this kind of price. And it's funny, strung by. That makes DJT's position worth roughly $4 billion, but he's not going to be allowed to borrow against those or sell them in any fashion until the board approves it. He used to be on the board, but he's not currently on the board. I just read a Wall Street Journal article on this morning. That's how I know this stuff. Anyway, PRAX, medical, reverse split. Those are not always, those are almost never bullish. We've got major resistance here. FDA gets involved in this thing. All it takes is something bad happening, and we return back. And yesterday, Goose was alerting me to the fact that GLP-1 drug users, at least one of the brands, one of the formulas, is causing rapid muscle loss. That's the kind of thing watching out for. That's the kind of thing that could take the GLP-1 drugs down. So NVO, pulling back a little bit. LOY. Neither one reacting to that news yet. Maybe it's a nothing burger. Maybe it's a problem. Just watch out. If either one of those, any of the GLP-1 drugs starts causing death, watch out. Both these companies could plummet very quickly. VKTX. That's looking like the bubbly chart. Be very cautious. Looks a lot like that. What goes up can come right back down. That's a biotech pharma. Just, be careful on that right there. Hit the fat finger 2 buttons there. Sorry about that. Reddit went public. IPOs are generally bearish. All right. Even SPAC IPOs, DJT. Typically, we do some kind of excitement, hype, and then we make a lower low. At some point, lower than, it's like 90%, 99%. I don't know. It's a very high percentage of IPOs. We don't have the chart. The problem is we don't have the chart from before they were public, but generally they're on some wicked valuation appreciation before they go public. And then when they go public, we get a correction. All right. But the problem is we don't have the chart. It's invisible. We can't know the ebbs and flows that they went through before it was public in their valuation and pricing. But then when we go public, we usually correct that back out, establish a public minimum price, and then work from there. So right now, this can go crazy. It can ramp up high, and then watch out below. So warning, likely to make a lower low than the IPO price. Spotify keeps rocking it. Got that $300 resistance up there, where we double topped up here. And then we've got the ultimate high up here, closer to 400. See if we can get through that. And remove all the drawings. Clear this baby up a little bit. I'm going to draw a resistance zone. Look at that. See all those highs? There's resistance right there. It was resistance on the way up and resistance on the way down, and that was a giant head and shoulders, and we went down, and look, IPO, lower low, right there. That's proof from what I just said. It took a while. It's not always fast, and we actually made the lower low here and here. We could get some excitement off of Reddit. We could get some excitement off Truth Social. We could do crazy big up moves. Eventually, we're going lower low. Just, it's like 90% of the time. High likelihood that we make a lower low. So Spotify, back to it. This big correction, that high, that low. We're poking above the 618 level. It's setting us up to be 70% likely to get a bigger rally right up here. I really want to see it get above this resistance to confirm with me. Like, I'm not willing to just buy it right now. I really want to see it move up through 300. Definitive daily closes right up here, not just this choppy, not some of this like spike up and reverse hard. I don't want to see that. I want to see it definitively close up here, and then we're setting this up 70% likely to go on up here about let's go 460. All right, run spot run. That's exactly right. Tesla making a big move today. Made the morning movers list, up $9. Might that have been the bottom? It very well could have been. We got within a couple bucks of tagging that zone, that 158 I was looking for. Got down to 161. It's $3 off. Popping up. We still have this large gap down to go fill. Got to get above the roadmap line to turn this higher. That could have been the low. We're just 3 waves up off the low so far in a little bitty time frame. We're not even talking about the daily. I mean, you barely see it. You see that first move up, resistance at the roadmap line, retrace, hold the 618, and pushing higher. Let me zoom it up right here. This is the initial indication that we might be doing a reversal, but it's still 3 waves. See that 618 bounce right there? Let's go to a clean chart. Let's go to a very clean chart. That was my downside trade. Let's just clear that all up. Jump down to a 30-minute. Right here. This low right here. This high right there. That right there. That's the 618. This sets us up. Likely to see. Move up to this area. Right up here. At the minimum. If we're going to turn bullish, we're going to get above this level right here. That would be your first initial indication. We're going to go bullish. We're going to get a retrace and a continuation higher, and then a bigger retrace more likely to retest the roadmap line. Roadmap line. That orange line. You want that orange line? Link is in the description down below. Click the more button. Expand it out. There's a $5 sale going on right down there in the description. Also gets you in to Discord, where I'm going to hang out after I'm done here. So, Comcast. I'm not even looking at the right list here. Jumped on the wrong list. Oh. Back to the actual chart here. STOK, big pop. Biotech, garbage. Biotech, garbage. I'm not trading biotech. Yeah, we could. That's right, Wrongamer. The retrace could line up with earnings on Tesla. We could rally right up here for a couple days and then retrace on earnings and then make, hold a higher low and go. STOK, craziness. McCormick, let's jump back up to the daily. Gap filled. That's a beautiful chart. Let's just remove all this stuff here. That bottom bar. Gap filled right. We made a gap down, gap back up above it. Sets us up, sets it up, likely to go retest some of this resistance up here above us. Look at that, head and shoulders and plummet. So this looks like we may see a rally back up into that area right there on McCormick. That's a pretty good that'd be a pretty good run. 30% on shares. STX. Is it set up a head and shoulders, or are we going on an extension higher? We did find resistance at that head and shoulders target up there. Retraced, didn't hit the roadmap line. Becomes unclear what we're doing next. If that was the lower time frame correction, 105, 111 on the upside. BHVN, Biohaven, 10 o'clock. Biotech, ALB. Not enough candles to do anything with it. Looks like it's going on a run. I don't know. Like, it doesn't have the little dinosaur for an IPO, so I'm not sure what the story is here. Not enough candles for me to do anything with. DXCM. Balanced off. Already hit the target. Gotta wait for the next chart. Wait for the next trade. That setup's done. Target 142. Could extend higher, 154, but I don't expect much. LABU. That's biotech. We're holding right here. Funny enough, I drew that arrow, said we were likely to retrace to that downtrend of the highs. We did it. We're holding it. If we can break back above this, we're going up here 220 on biotechs, even though I don't like them, and that's leverage. And be careful. That's like biotech and leverage both in one chart right here. So you need to have extreme caution. Extreme caution. Right there. It's leveraged and biotech. So anyway, remember, 5 p.m. tonight. 5 p.m. I have 30 minutes of awesome. I'll take your requests for at least 30 minutes. Put it on, get out your phone, set an alert. 5 o'clock. Come hang out with me. It's 5 o'clock Eastern time. I'll take your request for at least 30 minutes. Lately, I think last week, my intern's like, dang, last week you went almost 2 hours. Well, it was like an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. But yeah, I'll stick around, try to get everybody's ticker. As until I get hungry or I got to the bathroom or something, then I'll probably cut the show. But I'll be doing that tonight, 5 p.m. after the market closes. So CEG, yeah, that's craziness. What a chart. They can always go higher. They can always go lower until we get to zero. That hit the 1618 of that pullback. I'd expect another one of these pullbacks before we get more continuation. And next move, UPS, find a resistance right there. We break down below here, going down below. If we can break above, probably going on up. Nothing's changed. Still in the coin flip zone. MU, man, pushing on higher. Craziness. Keep seeing this craziness. One day the party's going to stop. Clear it up. Nice and clear. 131, next resistance up right there. Be a next target zone for that one. And that move is going straight up. I mean, that's a parabolic move right there. Look at this. Be careful. Parabolic moves tend to end in parabolic, like escalator up, elevator down. Tend to go straight down. Elevator shaft, maybe. Be careful. And this one was interesting too. Krispy Kreme right here, cutting a deal with McDonald's for McDonald's to carry Krispy Kreme donuts. Right up into the resistance. If we break out, we could go higher. There's another IPO. Dinosaur. IPO. Lower low. It's the way IPOs work. Almost always make a lower low. They're making any money. Wow, look at that debt compared to the cash flow. Wouldn't that be interesting if McDonald's bought Krispy Kreme? Anyway, interesting. Take two, interactive. Not showing bullishness. Support down here. Kind of tapped out at the 1618. Retracing. Found resistance, may push lower. And just out of curiosity, what's MCD up to? Still working on a retrace. We may see this one find support right down here. This wasn't on the movers list. Not moving much this morning. ARM popping, still holding resistance at that 618 level. Lower high so far. That's the same pattern I've been talking about. We may be on this part of it right here. This complacency part. Complacency. Watch out. If we start breaking lower, that looks a lot like the pattern. Be careful. CVNA. Potentially pushing higher. And that was a nice consolidation. Move the drawings. Did a little pullback and extension higher. Not a big believer in this company, but hey, chart says otherwise for now. Higher 95, 100. We'll see. We're starting to get into this place where we have this resistance right here, where we chopped around before we dropped. There's going to be bag holders up there. That'll be supply hitting the market when we get up there, if we get up there. CEIX. Oof. Oof. Drawings. So we did this initial drop, retrace to only the 50. We didn't even hit the 618. Let's see. This one could be looking for a target down here for support. So watch the break down below here. If we do break below 75, looks like we're heading on down into the $60 area for support on CEIX. CDLX getting a little bit of retrace after the big pop yesterday. I am in this one. Thought we were going to make the target. We didn't quite get there. Wow. Dilution. Don't you love it? They get a big pop and then announce dilution. Stupid. Anyway, still bullish. Still in this one till December. Right now, that's just a retrace. That's the low. That's the high. 618 retrace. I want to see this zone hold support right here. Shop happens to be just above the daily roadmap line. We hold that. Bounce. Going higher. More than likely. Maybe even higher than I thought. 23 was my target, but this could set up even more bullish. We could be talking about a target right up in this zone. Close to my big target right up there. That'd be pretty sweet. Holding on to that one through December. FLUT. Almost into the target zone. Watch for that resistance up there. That prior high. Finding resistance at this prior high. These two right there. 3 right there. I don't know, PD. Go ask McDonald's. I don't know what the plan is. Goodness. TSLZ. This is a 2x inverse Tesla daily. Talk about some playing with fire. This is like dumping gasoline over yourself, going to get a bottle of nitroglycerin and then trying to juggle it. I mean, whew. Talk about potentially burning yourself here. Danger, danger, danger. Inverse leverage back with a backflip and a twist here. This one, if Tesla turns bullish, this one's going down in a blaze of glory. That's danger right there. HSY, speaking of cocoa, that chart not looking too bullish. Turning down here, maybe heading down to 171. MTD. Finding resistance. If we can break above that resistance finally in some kind of definitive way, and 84, no, 82, 93 on the upside. 82, 93. Baidu, still chopping, not popping. SNX. These were decliners pre-market. Now that one's popping. That just looks like choppy sideways garbage to me. I wouldn't get involved. Nope. Not my kind of chart. TSLQ. There's another bear. Tesla, and looks like that one could... It's funny. Tesla's been on a bearish go, right? But this chart is not up here. It's down here. So appears to be some kind of decaying asset. Be careful on this one. The expense ratio may be high. Yeah, higher expense ratio. Be careful on this if you're chasing this one, TSLQ. And TRNO. Looks like that one wants to come back to the roadmap line right in here. CYTK. I got nothing on that one. Pharmaceutical. Looks like it wants to come back down. Gap fill that gap up that we had from back here. All right, that's the list for the day. Bias for the day. We can extend it. We can extend this baby. Let's look at the SPX now that we're open. Now that we've got a few minutes of candles for today. Not convinced on either. Holding the. Not convinced we're doing anything yet. It's indecision so far. Lots of dojis on the 30-minute chart there. Really unsure. Indecision. Still indecision on the 15-minute. Even the 5-minute indicates we might go lower. Indecision. Disagreement. 1 minute turning down. And this is delayed data by 10 minutes. So I don't even have the most up-to-date. I'd be careful today. There's no clear... We can extend higher. We can start a bigger correction. It looks like we're just going to consolidate more today. We may consolidate the rest of the week and just kind of fart around here at the highs. So may make a higher high, may kind of set up a bigger correction. I don't know. This is corrective overlapping junk so far off the high, which indicates that we're probably going to go make a higher high at some point. Maybe this week, maybe next week. It's kind of uninteresting right now. I don't have any big potential for it to do anything. All right. Be careful out there. We see you guys later on. 5 p.m. I'll be back live. Remember, 5 p.m. So come see me. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. If anything I said was beneficial, helpful, informative, something you never heard before, give me a like. Give me a thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell with the notification so you get notified when I go live at 5 p.m. And I'll see you guys after a while. Remember, it takes you to come, show up, make requests for the request show to be awesome. 30 minutes of awesome. I'm going to at least do 30 minutes of chart analysis for those that show up. And the more that show up, the more, the merrier. Have a great day, everybody.